I'm getting ready to head out to go to a coffee shop and also do some shopping. A reading update on the brothers Karamazov. I'm about 200 pages or so in. I recently read the chapter about Smirnikov. He's one out of the four brothers, and his character is a bit more of a side character, but his chapter talked about what it was like for him growing up alone and how he was raised by Gregory and Martha. I would describe his character so far as very arrogant, not very likable. Curious to know where his story is gonna go, because like I said, it seems like he's a bit more on the side. A few days ago, I tried a different curl method. I used a heatless one, the unicorn one. It's the one where you have the rod and then you like wrap it. Maybe I can show you. This thing, you put it in the middle of your head and you wrap it almost like a French braid. And I think this method is actually maybe better than the Dyson. This is what it looks like from the back. And I feel like the waves are staying longer because this is like third day hair now, and I've had to touch up a few pieces with my Dyson, but other than that, I feel like the waves are pretty tight. I should really head out now. I'm bringing 4 different lip products for some reason. I just can't choose. I feel like it's based off of mood, like what I'm feeling. I have the Summer Fridays and Birthday Cake. This is like a nice shimmery one and it smells good. This is Rhodes Peptide Lipton in Toast, which has a nice color to it, but it's unscented if I'm not feeling that. Another Rhode and Cinnamon Roll. This one is scented, but it has a very nice shimmery brown color to it. And then Aquaphor, I feel like is always a need. I'm also gonna bring my AirPods, my wallet. I was thinking of wearing my new jacket, the Everlane one, because it is raining, and so I feel like this is a very fall jacket I could wear, but I'm afraid it might be a little too hot. I do think I'm gonna wear my rain boots though. I don't know, is that too much to wear a trench coat and rain boots? This is the outfit, and then imagine it with rain boots. I'm back from shopping. It was quite a long day, but I did find a few good things, so I thought I'd do a really quick haul. First is this set from Gap. It's actually a PJ set. And I remember looking for this when it came out, but it was sold out really quickly since it was so popular. And I found it for clearance for $14. Such a great deal. So I'm really happy I found that one. From Brandy, I got 2 long sleeve tops. They're both a pointe-tail pattern. This one's just pretty plain. It's a black cardigan. I really liked it because the fit of it was really nice, especially on the neckline. It's slightly wide, kind of like a boat neck. I got that. And the next one is a Henley style top with the pointe-tail pattern. I really liked how the sleeves were very tight at the end. So that's what I got. I would call that a successful shopping trip. It's 7:30. I took a shower and I'm doing some knitting in bed. I guess I can share a little update. This is my cardigan. I finally picked up stitches on the left side, so I'm working on the sleeves right now. And I'm hoping to make a bit of progress tonight. Someone also recently left a comment saying that they feel like they're getting in a reading slump because they've been reading a lot of the popular books that have been recommended online and that have been circulating on social media. And if I have any suggestions or tips to get out of a reading slump. I think for me, what prevents myself from getting into a reading slump would be reading multiple books at once. I used to only read one at a time, and I felt like, I don't know, you're just so committed to one, you feel like there's no way out, at least for me personally. So I like to read different types of books. I also like to read books that I know I genuinely enjoy and authors that I genuinely enjoy. So if there's a book that you've read before, like it's an author that you really like but you haven't read some of their other works, then I would suggest looking into that. Also, reading short stories has been great for me. I used to not like short stories. I don't know why. I felt like they were just too short to really get very deep, but I found it to be more refreshing and not as big of a commitment, which I think kind of helps me get out of that slump. Like it's such a small commitment that I can read it in like half an hour or an hour, and then I still feel like I'm making some progress. And for me, that has been really helpful. I think I'm going to go make some tea now. is a very gloomy and rainy day, which I'm very much enjoying because I'm working from home, and I feel like that just makes working from home more enjoyable for some reason. I'm also texting my friends because one of them, she's looking at engagement rings, and I'm so excited. There's this one that she sent that I think is perfect for her. It's very like elegant, but also kind of unique and timeless. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it, but I haven't really seen many people with it. Also, this is my background in case you're curious. I made it a pumpkin fall theme. Now I'm gonna make my fun drink, my daily drink. I usually do have matcha, but I've actually been into espresso recently. I don't have an espresso machine. I used to have one, like one of those Brevels where you can pull your own shot, and I did like it for a while, but practically it just requires a lot of cleaning and maintenance, and like actually pulling the shot just takes a lot of time. So I've been using this, the Nescafe Gold Intense, and this is an instant espresso powder. You can make like Americanos, you can make shots. I think one shot is equal to 1 teaspoon of the powder, and I'm gonna mix it with Nutella to make a Nutella oat milk latte. I've never done that, but I think it'll taste good. You can't go wrong with Nutella. I'm heading to Banff in a few days, so I wanted to pack some books. I'm obviously going to be there for hiking and nature, but I do want to bring something to read because I'll be there for about a week. I have some ideas. I'm thinking 3 books max. First, I have the Brothers Karamazov. This is a given. I made some progress this week, not as much as I wanted to, if I'm being honest, but I feel like I'd be able to get a good amount done and just focus on it for a good few hours on the plane. So I'm going to bring this one. Next, okay, I really want to read The Bell Jar. This is on my fall TBR, but I feel like it might be just a little too dark and depressing right now, at least for the trip. I did learn that Sylvia Plath wrote this kind of based off of her own life. She struggled a lot with her mental health. This is very heavy. Based off of what I've heard, there's also a lot of controversial things that are said in here, so I'm not sure if I really want to dive into that yet. I think this will be a maybe. I was thinking though, The Gambler by Dostoevsky. Someone commented on one of my last videos saying that this is one of their favorite books by Dostoevsky and not enough people talk about it. He wrote this, I think in the span of a month, like wrote and published it. And he did that because he had a gambling addiction himself and he had a lot of debt to pay off. And I think at some point during his addiction to roulette, he had to sell his wife's belongings in order to make money as well. I have heard that the writing in this seems a bit rushed, and you can tell that he didn't spend as much time on it compared to like Crime and Punishment or The Brothers. So I'll see, but I think I'm gonna bring this. Lastly, I'm thinking a collection of short stories. I do have this one, Edgar Allan Poe's Great Tales and Poems. Still haven't read everything in here. Or I was thinking this one, The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. I did read The Lottery and a couple of her other stories. I don't know. I of course love Edgar Allan Poe, but I feel like I should try something new. Yeah, I'm gonna try this one. These will be the 3 books that I bring. Very heavy. Right now I'm trying to figure out how I want to redecorate my bed, specifically the area near my bed and my bedding, because I feel like my bookcase and what's behind me is pretty good. I also recently got this frame from the thrift store, but I think this looks good. It's just that my bed, I don't know, I feel like it still isn't quite there. First of all, I don't have nightstands, which I've been searching on Facebook Marketplace every day for like over 2 months. Cannot find anything. There was a pair that I really wanted, but then they said, oh, I'm on vacation. And then I was like, okay, because I needed the dimensions. Otherwise, you know, if it's too big or too small, then I can't get them. And then they're like, I'll get back to you once I'm back from vacation. And then a few days later, they marked it as sold. So they just didn't want to measure it, and they lied, which is fine because now I'm gonna get my own. I actually haven't had proper nightstands since I was a child, since like my childhood nightstand. So I'm going to invest in those. And I also really want lamps. Actually, let me just show you. Like I said, I don't have nightstands, so I want those to go on both sides. And then I'm thinking some matching lamps as well. I do want to move this floor lamp off to the side. I've just been mainly using this because it's the only light source in here. And then in terms of the bedding, I currently have the Quince duvet cover. This is a linen, but this duvet and the cover is in a queen, and now we have a king, so it's a bit too small, so I need to update that. If you saw some of my old videos, you might have seen I had like that blue with the mini stripes as my duvet cover. That was from IKEA. It was okay. I don't think it was the softest, and the duvet insert was also very warm, so I want to upgrade this to a lighter duvet insert and a duvet cover that will fit. I actually got a very exciting package today from Quince. They kindly gifted me this new bedding set, which I am so grateful for. Like I mentioned, I've been wanting to upgrade my bedroom, and also I wanted to change my sheets for the fall season, so I went with their linen in sand. And the one that I actually have now is also linen in the striped pattern, and I've had this for about a few years now. It's definitely stood the test of time. It's still super soft and intact, which is why I went with linen again. I really like how Quince offers a lot of quality products like cotton and linens for an affordable price, so I am very excited about this. Also with linen, it's very breathable and it's very light, so if you sleep a little hot, it might be a great fabric to go with, and it gets softer. Like the one that I have now is buttery soft, and this one is still soft, but with wear it'll definitely get even better. So I'm very grateful again. Thank you, Quince. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wash these so that I can sleep in my new sheets tonight. Last night I slept with the new sheets and the new duvet, and I really liked it. I felt like it was a lot airier and cooler than what I had before. The one I used to sleep with just got really hot at night, and I would wake up in the middle of the night because I felt like I was sweating. So that one's definitely better. I didn't wake up at all. It felt very nice on the skin as well. I also try to sleep with the temperature kind of cool. I know that's better for your sleep. I think around like 68 is a good temperature. I'm about to head out for my mom's birthday. We're gonna have lunch together. I also started The Gambler. I wanted to do like a quick update. I can talk more about it later, but I started this last night, so I didn't get too far, maybe like 15 or so pages in, and it's good. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. There is a bit of an introduction here, which I skipped, but I want to read it tonight because I think The Gambler, it says a gambler's gambler, and it talks about Dostoevsky and his own passion for gambling, which is kind of ironic that he wrote a book about a gambler when he's a gambler himself trying to pay off his debt. So I'm gonna read this later. Okay, I really have to go, but I will talk about it more as I read it. Happy birthday to you. I'm back from lunch and also running a few errands. We had a great birthday celebration with my mom. They actually gave her a free dessert, a free cake, which was really nice. I am, however, feeling a bit sick. I have like a headache. I don't know if I'm actually sick. I'm starting to psych myself out. Hopefully not though, because I'm going to Banff. I'm actually leaving tomorrow, so I need to pack. I need to do some cleaning, also some laundry. I'll probably do that after this, but I do also want to read the introduction to The Gambler, like I mentioned earlier. I started reading the book without the introduction because I was just curious, and then I kept going, and then I fell asleep last night. The introduction, though, I really want to read this one. I don't always read the introduction, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that's like a sin to some people, but I don't know. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll read it after. That's probably the worst, because then you need the introduction for context for the book. I don't know. It's really up to you. You can read it if you want. I sometimes do, sometimes I don't. But I want to read this one because I do have a little bit of context on Dostoevsky's gambling addiction, but I kind of want to learn when it started and also how his wife played a part, because I know, so I think it says he had an on and off affair with someone named Sislava, and then later he meets Anna, who becomes his wife. I know she played a big part in him getting out of financial debt and becoming more stable, and also a lot with his writing. I believe she was a stenographer and she actually helped write his books. I think this one, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I don't know if it'll be in here, but just made me think about that. I also learned that the person who translated this one, Andrew R. McAndrew, I thought his name was funny because the first name is also part of his last name. But Andrew R. McAndrew also translated The Brothers Karamazov, the one that I'm reading, and this is the Bantam Classic. I would say that this translation is very easy to read. It's very close to modern American English, so if you find that some of the other translations are a bit difficult, maybe try out this one. I also have tried the Richard Pavere, I think. Pavere? Levere? I think it's Pavere, but his translation I know is kind of like the standard. A lot of people gravitate towards that one, and I think it kind of stays true to the style of the original text, but I found it a little more difficult to read than this one personally, but you may get more of that context and nuance in there. I did read Crime and Punishment in his translation, but I think I prefer this one in terms of ease of reading. If you're thinking about reading any of Dostoevsky's work, I would try out the Levere to see how you feel, and if you feel like that's a bit difficult, then maybe you try out the Andrew McAndrew translations. Although I think these are older. Like both of these books I found at the thrift store. I've never seen his translations at like a Barnes & Noble or any other like local bookstores. So it might be like an older translation that's available. So you might be able to find that on eBay or secondhand. I am still new to translation, so if you have a translation that you prefer, especially for Dostoevsky, please let me know, and also why. I'm just curious. I've only tried Crime and Punishment by Peter Levere, Richard Levere. I don't know why I keep calling him Peter. And then also Notes from Underground by him, and also White Nights. I actually don't, let me see if I can find it. Oh, Constance Garnett. I thought this one was okay too. I don't think it was very difficult. I don't know. Nothing really stood out in terms of the style of it, but it was pretty easy to read. We're going to choose a word of the day so that we can learn new words. I definitely said I was going to do this. I am not very consistent with this, but that's okay. At least I'm trying. I think I found a good one. Exculpate. To clear from accusations of fault or guilt. The girls aren't proud of what they did that night, but they've been exculpated by witnesses and won't be facing criminal charges. Exculpate gets its meaning from the prefix ex, which here means out of or away from. A suspected murderer may be exculpated by the confession of another person. And exculpatory evidence is the kind that defense lawyers are always looking for. Okay. Culp. Culp comes from the Latin word for guilt. Oh, okay. That makes sense, like culprit. I need to start using an app or something on my phone that I can use to reinforce these new words and put it in my brain. Maybe I'll do that on the plane.